The movie starts with a scene where a car is parked in the rain. Inside sits a man wearing gloves, waiting silently like he's about to commit a dangerous crime. Just then, another man walks toward the car holding a suitcase. The stranger inside the car steps out and without hesitation starts stabbing the suitcase guy repeatedly until he dies. He then calmly throws the body in the trunk, closes it, and sits back in the car like nothing happened. Friends, this mysterious killer is our movie's main character. His name is June, or John. Meanwhile, we cut to another man named Lee, who doesn't even want to live anymore and is trying to hang himself. He doesn't even know if he'll get dinner today, that's how broke he is. Actually, Lee always wanted to become an actor, but he never got a chance. So now he's done with life and is ready to commit suicide. Right then, the doorbell rings. Lee gets angry, thinking, "Seriously? You people won't even let me die in peace?" When he opens the door, it's his house owner, and she starts shouting, "2 months! You haven't paid the rent in 2 months." Lee angrily responds, "I'm going to die. Do you understand?" She replies, "Yes, go die, but at least pay the 2-month rent before dying." And on top of that, the house smells absolutely horrible. The owner scolds him more. "Whether you take a shower or not, at least clean your room. Pay the rent or I'll throw you out." After she leaves, Lee again tries to hang himself. But then he thinks, "She ruined my death mood." But she's right. I haven't showered in at least 4 to 5 months. So he decides, let me take one final shower before dying. At the public bathhouse, he goes to a public bath, and guess who is there? John, the killer from earlier. Looks like after committing murder, he also came here to shower. Both are standing close to each other. Lee looks at John's expensive belongings and immediately realizes, this guy is super rich. Bro, his life is goals. He stares at everything with jealousy, and John notices. Both keep their belongings in separate lockers and go to shower. Suddenly, Lee drops his soap, and it slides toward John. John steps on it, slips badly, crashes hard, and becomes unconscious. At that moment, Lee's intentions turn dark. He thinks, he'll be taken to a hospital, and he has so much money. Why don't I keep his locker key and live his rich life for one day before dying? So Lee leaves his own locker key beside John, takes John's key, and walks away. Someone calls an ambulance, and they take unconscious John to the hospital. But because they mistakenly think Lee's key belongs to John, they take Lee's clothes from that locker and dress unconscious John in them. Meanwhile, Lee opens John's locker using the key and finds expensive things, wallet, watch, etc. He takes everything and walks out wearing John's luxurious coat. Outside, his house owner is playing cards with some women. Lee walks up proudly and says, "Hey, old lady, remember what you told me in the morning? Pay rent or leave. Here, take 4 months' rent as charity." And he throws money in front of her dramatically. The owner is shocked. "You were a beggar in the morning. How are you rich now?" Lee proudly says, "I hit a jackpot, Grandma, and next time don't try to threaten me." Then he walks away like a king. While walking, he checks the coat pocket and finds a car key. He presses the button and a luxury car beeps. Lee is stunned. Wow, is this even a car or a spaceship? He sits inside, but he doesn't even know how to start it because of advanced controls. Still, somehow he manages. He drives around, pays off all the people he owed money to, buys expensive food, eats like royalty, and finally decides to meet his ex-girlfriend. She left him because he couldn't earn anything and lived off her earnings. Now he thinks, after seeing my rich lifestyle, maybe she'll take me back. But when he meets her, she says, "I'm getting married next month. You're invited." It feels like a nuclear bomb explodes inside Lee's heart. His face falls instantly. Now Lee starts feeling guilty because he's spending someone else's money like it's his own. So he decides to return everything: the car, the wallet, the clothes. He goes back to the hospital where John was admitted, planning to leave everything quietly without being noticed. But the moment John sees him, he asks, "Do you know me? Do you know who I am? Please tell me something. I don't remember anything. I can't even remember my own name." In that one moment, Lee's guilt disappears and his greed returns. He immediately thinks, if this man has lost his memory, then why shouldn't I enjoy his life forever? So he lies and says, "Sorry, I came to the wrong room. I don't know you," and walks away casually. Lee then goes to John's address, a huge, luxurious house. As soon as he enters, he freezes. Expensive furniture everywhere, massive rooms, designer clothes. The dressing room alone is bigger than Lee's entire apartment. Meanwhile, John gets discharged from the hospital, but he only has Lee's empty wallet. When they hand him the bill of $900, he's completely lost. At that moment, Lena, the paramedic who brought him earlier, arrives. The nurse tells her that John has no memory, no money, and no idea where he lives. Lena feels bad, and John asks her if she can pay the bill. He promises to return the money once he gets home. After thinking for a moment, she agrees and takes him with her. Since the wallet has Lee's address, John assumes that's where he lives. They reach Lee's dirty apartment. The moment they open the door, a horrible smell comes out. Lena looks around and says, "You live here?" John says, "I don't know, but something tells me I would never live in a place like this." Lena now regrets paying his bill. Nothing in this house makes her believe he'll ever return her money. Then she notices burnt ashes in the sink. Lee destroyed all his photos so no one could identify him. John picks up a rope lying there and says, "Looks like before I slipped and fell, I tried to hang myself. Maybe I was trying to commit suicide." Hearing that, Lena feels even more sorry for him. She thinks he must have lived a terrible life, and that's why the house is such a mess. Her walkie-talkie suddenly calls her for an emergency. She tells John, "Pay me back later, but please don't try to kill yourself again." Then she leaves. John stands there confused and thinking, why would I ever try to kill myself? Meanwhile, Lee is living his best life. Expensive food, alcohol, cigarettes, everything he never had before. He relaxes on the couch like a king. Then the TV automatically turns on, showing a woman acting out suicide scenes repeatedly. Lee gets confused. Why is she acting like she's dying? And why was John watching her like a surveillance feed? Back at Lee's old place, John cleans the whole apartment and then goes outside to ask neighbors about himself. As soon as he says he lives upstairs, the neighbors start yelling and chase him away. Looks like everyone hated Lee. Then another man comes out after fighting with his wife. John tries to ask him something, but the man angrily shouts, "Why would I know who you are? Who even are you?" He runs toward John to hit him, but that's when John's instincts kick in. He suddenly fights like a pro, fast, precise, and powerful, and easily takes him down. The man runs away terrified. John looks at his own hands and says, "Wow, I fight really well. I must be some kind of martial arts expert." Even though his memory is gone, his skills and instincts are still there. And slowly, he begins to realize he's not an ordinary man. Now the scene shifts back to John. He's sitting at home when suddenly he starts coughing like he's choking. Lena panics and rushes toward him thinking, "Oh no, if he dies, who will return my $900? But before she can freak out more, she realizes the truth. John isn't dying. He's just trying to smoke a cigarette. John coughs and explains, "When I was cleaning the house, I found a bunch of cigarette butts, so I assumed I must have been a smoker. I tried one, but nope, I hate it. And honestly, I think I love keeping things clean." Lena looks around and her eyes widen, because now the once disgusting house is spotless. Every corner shines like a hotel room. That's when suspicion hits her. If he's such a clean freak, why was this place so filthy before? Before she can ask further, John suddenly spots 3 flying insects in the room. Without hesitation, swoosh! He throws 3 knives straight at them, pinning all 3 bugs to the wall perfectly in a straight line. Lena stands there completely stunned. She tells him gently, "Relax. There's no need to overreact. Your memory will come back eventually. Just give it time." Truth is, Lena isn't checking on him because she cares. She's only visiting daily because she wants her $900 back. But since John has no idea who he is, no job, and no money, how will he repay her? So Lena finally says, "My mom owns a small restaurant. Until your memory returns, come work there." She takes him to the restaurant, but the moment her mother sees John, she snaps, "No way! Look at him, he looks like a criminal. Customers will run away." Lena quickly whispers, "Mom, he owes me $900. If he doesn't work, how will he pay me back?" Her mother sighs in defeat and agrees. Meanwhile, back in John's luxurious apartment, Lee continues exploring. He opens the kitchen cupboard and finds a mysterious box. Thinking it's snacks, he opens it, but instead of food, it's full of cash. Lee's face lights up. He immediately spends the money on expensive food and eats like royalty. Then he notices a fancy wine bottle inside another cabinet. When he pulls it, click, something activates. A hidden mechanism triggers, and a secret room opens. Inside are gun CCTV screens, fake passports, multiple fake identities. At this point, the truth becomes clear to us. John wasn't just wealthy. He was tied to criminal activities, most likely a professional assassin. But Lee, he hilariously misunderstands everything. He gasps, "Whoa, John must be an undercover cop fighting crime. These weapons are for catching bad guys." But something else confuses him. The CCTV feed is focused on one woman, the same woman whose house he accidentally saw earlier during the slip. There are also newspaper articles and photos of her scattered around. Her name is Song, an employee at a major corporation involved in heavy illegal corruption. She secretly recorded proof on a pen drive. If exposed, the entire company could collapse. So the company hired John to kill her. But instead of killing Song, John was monitoring her, keeping her under surveillance. Why? We don't know yet. Lee, still unaware of the truth, proudly decides Song must be in danger, and John was protecting her. Now that he has memory loss, someone needs to keep her safe. And that someone is me. Lee checks the live CCTV again and notices the same delivery guy he saw earlier delivering food to Song. That's when it hits him. She lives in this building, but with nearly 300 apartments. Finding her is nearly impossible. One day while checking the camera, Lee sees Song practicing dramatic suicide scenes again, like she's rehearsing for something. At the same moment, he hears a loud thud from the apartment above. Immediately, Lee assumes she must be living upstairs. Still confused about why she keeps acting out death scenes, he decides to talk to her. But the moment she sees a stranger at her door, she panics and shuts it straight in his face. No conversation, no eye contact, nothing. Meanwhile, on the other side of the story, John is now working at Lena's mother's restaurant, and he unexpectedly becomes the main attraction. He pulls off unbelievable knife tricks while cutting vegetables, slices food with insane precision, and turns simple ingredients into beautiful, artistic dishes. Soon people start gathering outside just to watch him cook. The place becomes insanely popular, and business skyrockets thanks to John's cooking skills. One day, John comes home and notices a date circled on the calendar, yesterday's date, written by Lee. John stares at it and thinks, if I marked this before losing my memory, it must have been important. So he goes to the address written next to it. Turns out it's a shooting location for a TV drama set. Instantly, John assumes, so I must have been an actor. But the moment he tries acting, reality hits hard. He can't act at all. The director explodes with frustration. John is confused and embarrassed until a fellow supporting actor steps forward and says, relax, we're just character actors. We barely matter. Don't stress, I'll teach you. He actually teaches John everything: expressions, delivery, posture, emotions. After the shoot, they start distributing payments. On the list next to Lee's name, there's an address, so John goes there. It turns out to be a hair salon. The owner is none other than Lee's father. Lee's dad had signed Lee up for the audition, hoping his son would finally succeed somewhere. But John mistakenly assumes the man is talking about him. Lee's father casually complains, I have a son, completely useless, obsessed with acting, never landed a proper role, a total failure. John stands there silently, believing every word. He thinks, he's disappointed in me because I never tried hard enough. Feeling guilty and emotional, John quietly leaves and makes a vow. My father believed in me. I will not fail him again. I will become a real actor. From that day onward, John starts intense practice. He trains voice control, expressions, shouting, dialogue delivery, everything. The neighbors yell at him, stop screaming, go outside. But he doesn't care, he keeps improving. Meanwhile, Song goes somewhere, and Lee secretly follows her. He tries talking again, but she still avoids strangers. Suddenly, someone else starts tracking her. Lee quickly pulls her behind a car and hides until the suspicious man disappears. He continues watching her closely. Every Thursday, Song packs something and waits in the same spot, almost like she's waiting for someone, but nobody ever arrives. Still, week after week, she waits. Back at the film set, it's time for an action sequence, but the stunt double hasn't shown up. So John confidently says, I'll do it. Once the scene starts, everyone freezes stunned. John's martial arts are flawless. Fast strikes, controlled movements, perfect timing. The director is blown away and instantly increases John's role, giving him more scenes and importance. John is finally thrilled. Everything finally seems to be going right. Meanwhile, Lee continues watching over Song, protecting her, and sometimes talking to her. Slowly, she starts trusting him. Back at the shoot, John finally nails his dialogue delivery. His voice is deep, powerful, and full of emotion. The director loves it, but the main actor? Not so much, because now John's presence, his acting, fighting skills, confidence, everything is overshadowing the official lead. Soon John's scenes start airing, and people love him. Customers visiting the restaurant recognize him, ask for selfies, autographs, and shake hands. Slowly, gradually, John starts turning into a rising public star. At this point, Lee has become closer to Song, and on the filming set, John is now treated almost like the main character, which makes the real hero extremely jealous. Originally, John's role was small. He was just supposed to be the hero's assistant. But because everyone is loving John's acting and fight scenes, the hero feels threatened. So the hero secretly calls the producer and demands, from the next episode, remove John, either kill his character or change the script so my wife cheats on me with him and then I kill him. The producer tells this to the director. The director doesn't like the idea and refuses at first, but the producer says, if the main actor wants it, we have no choice. So the script is rewritten. Now the story becomes, John's character is having an affair with the hero's wife and the hero kills him. They film the scene, but nobody is happy with this sudden twist. Meanwhile, a call comes into the secret room and Lee answers it. The person on the phone asks, "Why is Song still alive? When will you kill her? Come meet me, we need to talk." They think Lee is John. Lee decides to meet them but wears John's mask and coat to avoid suspicion. When he arrives, he meets the owner of the company Song worked for. That man, along with his gang, believes Lee is the real John because they've never seen John's face, only heard scary stories about him. John is dangerous. Never look him in the eye. Once he takes a job, he always kills the target. They ask Lee, "Why haven't you killed Song yet?" After hearing everything, Lee finally understands the truth. John is not a police officer. He is a hitman paid to assassinate Song, and the man in front of him is the one who hired him. Lee realizes all the expensive stuff John had came from doing contract killings. Back on the shooting set, during a fight scene, the jealous hero loses control and hits John for real, not acting. The director stops the scene, shocked. But instead of getting angry, John smiles and says, "That felt realistic, right? How was my acting?" Because John reacts positively, the crew praises him. Great attitude. That's professionalism. This makes the hero even angrier. John gets hurt in the process, so Lena treats his wounds. Slowly, romance begins growing between them. But after John's character dies on screen, the show's rating drops badly. The producers panic, and the very next day, they film a scene bringing John back to life. Now John becomes even more important than before, almost more important than the hero himself. Soon John becomes very famous. Even the neighbors who once ignored him now treat him like a celebrity. Meanwhile, Lee is worried. He thinks, if John remembers everything, the first thing he'll do is kill Song. So he decides, before that happens, I have to kill John. Lee secretly follows John with a gun, waiting for a chance. But John notices him and walks up to him laughing. "Hey there! Why are you following me? Want an autograph?" Panicked, Lee quickly hides the gun and nervously says, Yes, I'm your biggest fan." John signs his shirt and Lee runs away. Now in the TV show, John officially replaces the main hero and becomes the lead actor. Since he now needs a new assistant character, he recommends the same actor who helped him learn acting earlier. John performs every fight scene perfectly, nobody can compete with him. But romance scenes? Total disaster. He tries again and again, but nothing looks natural. So the shoot gets canceled for the day. That night, John tells Lena, "Today we had a romantic scene, but I couldn't do it. I don't know how to be romantic. I don't even know how to kiss." While walking together and drinking, Lena suddenly kisses him and says, "That's a kiss. And whatever you feel after that, that's romance." The next day, John performs the romantic scene perfectly, one take, no mistakes. Meanwhile, every Thursday, Song still waits for someone. Lee finally tells her, "I know who you are waiting for, but stop waiting. If he comes, you'll be in danger." Song gets suspicious and asks, "How do you know I come here every Thursday? Are you following me? Who are you?" Lee can't tell her the truth about the identity swap, so he lies. "I'm a police officer. At first I was watching you because I was investigating you, but I fell in love with you. Now my job is to protect you." Someone secretly records this conversation and sends it to the corrupt corporate owner. He gets furious. "We paid him so much and he still didn't kill Song? Now he's romancing her? Enough. Kill both of them. If the assassin won't do it, call every gangster in the city." Messages are sent to all the gang leaders. But here's the twist. All those gangster phones are inside John's secret room, because John already finished them long ago. Imagine the most feared hitman is now working in a small restaurant. Meanwhile, Lena jokes, "Yesterday I kissed you, and today you did the romantic scene perfectly. So, maybe you liked it?" John replies proudly, "That was just acting. Are you jealous because I kissed the actress?" Lena pretends she isn't. "No, well, maybe a little." Soon, John joins Lena and her family on a trip. They spend quality time together and grow even closer. On the way back, it starts raining. A familiar song plays, the same one John always played at home. Suddenly, memories rush back. The rain, the suitcases, the scenes. Everything triggers his real past. He remembers everything: the killings, his secret life, his identity. He rushes back to his apartment and finds it messy. Checking the CCTV footage, he finally realizes Lee stole his identity. He also sees a message: "Kill both of them." That means Song and Lee are in danger. John checks the car GPS, sees Lee's last visited location, and drives straight there. When Lee sees John at the door, he panics and tries to close it, but John forces his way inside. He angrily tells Song, "I told you never to leave the apartment. Why didn't you listen?" Song replies, "I waited for you every Thursday, but you never came." John says, "I lost my memory because of him," and points at Lee. He grabs Lee and starts hitting him. Lee yells, "Oh, please, don't act innocent. You're a hitman who kills people for money." But John finally explains the truth. Yes, he was a gangster, but he never killed innocent people. He only eliminated dangerous criminals, and when someone hired him to kill an innocent person, he took the money but saved the victim instead. He staged fake deaths and secretly sent them to other countries to live safely, and that's how he made his money. Even the murder scene in the beginning, that victim was never killed. John only made it look real. The same happened to Song. He protected her and rented the apartment above hers to keep her under watch. Every Thursday, he planned to move her somewhere safe, but then he slipped in the bathhouse and lost his memory. Song kept waiting. Now John warns both of them. The company owner is hunting you. Leave the country immediately. But Lee refuses. I don't want to run. My dream is to become a successful actor. I want to stay and prove myself. John snaps. Dreams don't happen just because you want them. Your father believed in you, and you never tried. Lee looks down and softly says, but if it wasn't for you, I would have never lived such an amazing life even for a short time. So, thank you. Now John makes one final plan. He tells Song and Lee, we'll fake your deaths. Once the company owner believes you're dead, he'll stop searching for you. So John calls the owner pretending to be another assassin and says, if I kill Song and John, how much will you pay me? The owner offers a huge amount, and John agrees. Next, John sets up a realistic fake murder scene at an abandoned factory, everything arranged perfectly. That night, John finally tells Lena the truth. I remember everything now, and I'm not the good person you think. We can't continue this. Lena breaks down. When you had no memory, you were kind and loving. Now you remember everything and you want to leave? But John walks away coldly. I don't have time to explain. However, Lena secretly follows him in her ambulance. Meanwhile, Lee brings the company owner and his men to the fake crime scene. In front of them, he repeatedly stabs Song using a fake retractable knife. Blood packets burst, making it look real. Then he throws the pen drive toward them and says, it's done. I'm leaving. The men still believe Lee is the real John. And to make sure Lee also dies, they hire an assassin, none other than John himself. But they don't know John and Lee are working together. So John and Lee perform an extremely realistic fake fight, punching, kicking, slashing each other with fake weapons. It looks brutal. Just then, Lena suddenly appears and thinks John is in real danger. She runs toward him, but John knows if the owner realizes she knows him, she'll be killed. So he pretends not to recognize her. The owner gets suspicious. John secretly signals Lee, and Lee stabs Lena with the fake knife. She collapses dramatically. Right at that moment, Song, who is pretending to be dead, presses a hidden remote button. A giant metal container drops on top of John, Lee, and Lena, hiding all three bodies. To the criminals, it now looks like Song is dead, John, Lee is dead. The unexpected witness, Lena, is dead. One henchman checks and sees realistic fake blood flowing out thanks to a hidden valve Lee opened. He shouts, "Boss, they're all dead, even the woman who came later." The owner finally feels satisfied and leaves with the pen drive, which is also fake. After they leave, everyone stands up. The plan worked. Lee and Song quietly leave town to start a new life somewhere safe. John then explains everything to Lena and apologizes. He also tells her, "I'm not 32. I'm actually 45. Lena freezes. "What? You're 13 years older than me?" John laughs. "Yes. And one more thing, I'm not Lee. I'm John, the real John. Lee stole my identity, and I took his." Lena jokingly asks, "Anything else I should know? Secret wife? Kids?" John laughs. "No, I'm single. So now that you know everything, do you still like me?" She stays quiet, not giving him an answer. Later that night, John takes her to his filming set. They shoot a breakup scene. John acts perfectly, but then adds his own real words, looking directly at Lena. "I was once a dangerous gangster, but I love this new life, because in this life, you exist. For you, I want to change. Will you accept me?" Tears fill Lena's eyes and she nods. Finally, they become a couple. A few months later, John is now a massive celebrity filming in another city. The director says, "Today a new actor joins, you have a fight scene with him." John turns around and the new actor is Lee. Just like John encouraged, Lee worked hard, trained, auditioned, and finally made it. Now he's becoming famous too, just like John. And that's where the story ends.
अब आओ ना फिर से मिल जाओ ना फिर से जलाओ ना मुझे मिटाओ ना यूं दिल से अब आओ ना फिर से मिल जाओ ना फिर से जलाओ ना मुझे, मिटाओ ना यूं दिल से। कोई प्यार ना दे यूं जैसे मुझको चाहती है तू। जमाने के जैसी न बन, मेरे यार जैसी है तू। जमाना जलाता मुझे, लगाती गले फिर से तू। मैं गिर के उठा हूँ अभी, हर चीज सिखाती है तू। मैं लिख आया कहानी अपनी जो बीती जिंदगानी, अपनी जो खोया मैंने है वो खोया मैं रात जाग के हूँ रोया। मैं लिख आया कहानी अपनी जो बीती जिंदगानी, अपनी जो खोया मैंने है वो खोया मैं रात जाग के हूँ रोया रोया रोया। ख्वाहिश मेरी रह गई, तुझसे मिलूं मैं कभी। तुझको मैं प्यार दूं और बेशुमार दूं। दिल तो जला है बहुत, इसकी सजा है बहुत। फिर भी तेरा ही रहा, मेरी नहीं मानता। जितना भी चाहूं तुम्हें, मिलना है दर्द मुझे। होता है क्या इस तरह कोई भी इश्क यहाँ। तुम जो मेरी ना बनी, किसको बताता फिरूं ये दाग दिल अपना, किसको दिखाता फिरूं। वक्त बदलता है सबका, तुझको तो इसका पता था। फिर मुंह क्यों मोड़ गई थी, मुझको यूं छोड़ गई थी। साथ निभाना था मैंने, दिल भी जलाना था मैंने। फिर क्यों मेरी ना बनी थी और ये सजा बन गई थी। जिसको मैं जीता रहा था, ये दर्द पीता रहा था। ऐसी निशानी है तू, ऐसी कहानी है तू। मैं लिख आया कहानी अपनी जो बीती जिंदगानी, अपनी जो खोया मैंने है वो खोया मैं रात जाग के हूँ रोया। मैं लिख आया कहानी अपनी जो बीती जिंदगानी, अपनी जो खोया मैंने है वो खोया मैं रात जाग के हूँ रोया रोया रोया। अब इसके पार है तेरा मेरा ठिकाना। अब इसके पार है तेरा मेरा ठिकाना। अब इसके पार है फिर तुझसे दिल लगाना। अब इसके पार है।